Bitcoin had a crazy week. We saw a lot of bullish price action unfolding for Bitcoin. And in this video I will tell you exactly why Bitcoin is seeing a huge bump to the top side. There are a lot of interesting information to talk about for Bitcoin, and I will look at them on several time frames with you. I will also have a look at the altcoins Chainlink and DogWifHat, but later about that in this video. We can see a lot of interesting news unfolding for Bitcoin, so watch this video all the way to the end, like this video, and let's dive right into the charts. In my video of yesterday I've been talking about this huge symmetrical triangle for Bitcoin. We saw the price was getting compressed and squeezed into this apex, and eventually Bitcoin had to break out to either way the top side or the downside, and eventually we saw a huge break to the top side. And yeah, as I was saying, I was talking about this on my Twitter channel and on my video of yesterday, so you could have been warned about this breakout, and this is looking very good for Bitcoin. And because we are seeing a bullish break for now, we are seeing more bullish continuation for the price action for Bitcoin. And this symmetrical triangle was a bullish bias pattern because it's a continuation pattern, and eventually we broke to the top side, so we are seeing more bullish price action. So that is good to see for now. And if we have a look at the daily time frame for Bitcoin, we can see Bitcoin created a lot of bullish price action. We broke the resistance around the $64,000. We came back, retested this as support. So this resistance was turned into support, and as I was saying, the next big resistance for Bitcoin will be around the 67,000. And yesterday, at the end of the day, we pumped around this level. So we reached the $67,000, and we are seeing a little bit of a rejection already. So that is nothing to worry about, of course. But yeah, we are seeing a huge bullish break for Bitcoin after this huge downtrend, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. And now this bull trend is in full effect. So let's see if the coming weeks can be bullish as well. And we eventually want to see this resistance also getting broken, retested as support, and then come further back up. And if we're coming back to this huge resistance area on the daily time frame, this will be the last big resistance, because we can see multiple touch points in the past as resistance. And eventually we want to break this resistance as well and create more bullish price action. And the big reason that Bitcoin is pumping is because of the Bitcoin ETFs saw a huge inflow of money yesterday. BlackRock is buying 116 million and Fidelity is buying $141 million. So that is insane, of course. We are seeing a total of $383 million into the Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. And this is having a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin. And we are now having 11 consecutive days of inflow, so that is interesting to see. And we are now past the total inflow of $17 billion, so that is insane. We are seeing this spike to the top side, and let's see if we can reach this $20 billion target in the future soon. So this is looking very good for the Bitcoin ETFs, and this is exactly the reason why Bitcoin is pumping, because the sellers are out, because the German government was selling at this point, and they are just selling into the dip, and that's not what you want to do. You want to buy at these stages. So yeah, when they sold here, everyone was buying, and the Bitcoin ETFs were also buying. So they are up now for a significant amount of percentages, and that is exactly what you want to do. So the smart money is in and the dumb money is out. And another interesting information is this triangle for the daily time frame for Bitcoin. We can see this price was getting squeezed into this apex, and eventually we saw a bullish break to the top side, because this pattern was a reversal pattern, because we saw a compression to the downside, and eventually we want to see this trend reversal happening. Bitcoin broke out very strong, and we saw a lot of nice green candles, and eventually we broke this first big resistance at around the $64,000, and now we are breaking it to the top side. So the last big resistance will be around this level, of course, and that will be the top side of the triangle as well, and that will also be the breakout target of the triangle. And we can see multiple touch points in the past as resistance, so eventually we want to break this resistance, come back, retest this as support, and then come further back up. And that would be very interesting to see, because Bitcoin will then make a new all-time high, and the previous all-time high will be, of course, at this point. And yeah, if we break past this resistance area, then I think that we will see new all-time highs very soon. And also Bitcoin opened its CME gap yesterday evening. We saw the Bitcoin CME gap was at $66,987,000. So I think Bitcoin will continue with this side price action. But of course, last weekend we also saw the Bitcoin CME gap was opened, and that is not closed yet. So the last Bitcoin CME gap was at the 57,000, and yeah, we didn't close it, but yeah, that's nothing to worry about, because there were also other gaps in the past that weren't closed. So we have to see if this gap will be closed, and eventually we will be trading around this level in this weekend, I guess. So yeah, let's see what Bitcoin can do in the weekend, and if we are going to trade around this level. Yesterday we had a huge outage of the CrowdStrike, and it was of Microsoft, of course, and everyone in the world was having problems with it. If you were using CrowdStrike, of course. And Senator Cynthia Loomis, who is very bullish on Bitcoin, says, do you know what form of currency hasn't been affected by the widespread of cyber outages? That was Bitcoin, of course. And that is completely true, because Bitcoin is never down. It's always up for 24/7. Because yesterday a lot of banks were having problems. They couldn't do payments. And also a lot of other companies were having problems and they couldn't do their job. So yeah, Bitcoin is never down, and that's what you want to see. And this was also having a bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin, maybe. And I've also been discussing this broadening wedge with you. We can see multiple touchpoints on the top side as resistance, and we can see this trend line support on the downside. And at these kind of points, I was buying into Bitcoin, as I'm saying to you. And from this point, we are already up for more than 23%, almost 24%. So that is insane. And yeah, congratulations if you bought at these kind of stages. And yeah, I'm always buying into the support areas, and I'm always selling a bit of my share at the resistance. So that's exactly what you want to do, and that's how you make money in this game. And also yesterday we had an interesting news article coming out for the Ethereum ETFs. We saw that the Chicago Board Options Exchange had confirmed that 5 spot Ethereum ETFs products will begin trading on July 23rd. And we already knew it, of course, but for now it's official. So yeah, we will see a lot of inflows maybe into the Ethereum ETF, and that could also have a very positive effect for Ethereum, of course. And yeah, if Ethereum is going to gain, then we could also see a new alt season unfolding, because a lot of alts are also always following Ethereum, and that will be having a very bullish effect on all the altcoins. And the 5 Ethereum and spot ETFs will be called by Van Eck, Invesco, Fidelity, 21 Shares, and Franklin Templeton. So that is very interesting to see. A couple of days ago I talked about this Chainlink head and shoulders formation. We saw a little bit of a bearish formation unfolding, because a head and shoulders formation is a bearish bias pattern, and I was warning you about that we could possibly break the support. But eventually we didn't break the support, as you can see. We came a little bit back below the support, but eventually Chainlink is now regaining this support area, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. So let's see if Chainlink can maybe see some more strength, and eventually we want to create a higher high than this one. So we have to be creating a higher high, and then we can confirm the bullish uptrend. So for now, Chainlink is still a bit in a downtrend. So if Chainlink is going to create a lower high, we could also come back to this support again, and then we could maybe fall below it. But that's not what we want to see, of course. We want to see more bullish continuation. So we have to create a higher high and higher low, and then we can continue with the bullish uptrend. But for now, yeah, this head and shoulders formation is invalidated, and this huge support area will still be intact and is still valid. So this is looking very good for Chainlink, and it's also very interesting to buy Chainlink at these kind of support levels, because you also want to buy at support and not at resistance. But if we're going to break this support to the downside, and then we will come back to this box of price action, and that will be around the $7 or $8. So let's see what Chainlink can do in the coming days or weeks, and if we can see a beautiful bounce from this support level. And I got a lot of requests to chart with. DogWifHat is looking yeah, a little bit more bearish than bullish, of course, because we saw this huge consolidation to the top side. We saw multiple touch points on the downside as support, and this trend line support was still unfolding. And we also saw multiple touch points on the top side as resistance, and eventually we broke down from this formation in the beginning of June. And then we saw a big downtrend for WIF unfolding, but we're now seeing a W pattern with a double bottom, and that is actually a strong formation, because we see a double bottom and now we're coming back up. So eventually we want to gain a momentum, and we want to break this resistance, retest it as support, and then come further back up. And eventually the biggest resistance for WIF will be around this level, and that will be around the $3.50. And then we want to shoot back up, retest this resistance to the top side, and then we want to see a break to the top side, and then create more upside potential for WIF. We can see this big resistance unfolding for WIF, and we already seeing a little bit of a rejection, so we could also see lower levels from here, maybe retest this previous resistance and then come further back up. But eventually we want to create more of an upside momentum for WIF, and that could have a very bullish effect for the price. We are still in this downtrend, and yeah, we have to be a little bit patient, but WIF will do in the coming days. I hope you find this video useful. Follow me on my socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.